Hi there, my name is Lomax, and I am an emotional eating specialist. And today I'm going to talk to you about making the mirror your friend. What is making the mirror your friend? It's the lens at which you see yourself, which you really see yourself. So, could you stand in the mirror naked and totally accept what you see? Maybe not quite yet. However, maybe after some of the exercises that I'm going to go through with you during this time, you might be able to get there a little bit, or maybe be able to get on the road, on the path to getting there, accepting all of you just as you are, just as you appear in the reflection staring back at you. So, before I get into that, I want to tell you a little story. I'm going to tell you a story about why I do what I do and where I was and where I'm at now. So I came from a toxic family. I was the oldest of four, and my mother suffers from mental illness herself. And my stepdad wasn't there a lot, he worked a lot. And my real dad is from another country. And so I didn't get to see him as often as I wanted to. And in this family, because my mother suffers from mental illness, I had to take on that role of being the adult. And so I became the pseudo parent in the household. And I took care of them. I made sure that they got to school. I made sure that they got fed. I made sure that we washed their clothes. They were taken care of. So right away in my life, I put myself on the back burner. I put myself, my needs, my wants, my desires at a very, very young age on the back burner. The one thing that I could control was eating. And as a child, as a teenager, and even a young adult, I've suffered from two eating disorders. I had anorexia, and then I went all the way to the other extreme of binge eating, so emotional eating. And I literally went from one end of the spectrum to the other. So a size 2 to a size 22. And by the time I was 26, I weighed 300 pounds. So I weighed 300 pounds. I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was a borderline diabetic. The doctor told me that I was going to die if I didn't lose weight. At the time, I had a 2-year-old. And because I had put my needs and my wants and my desires on the back burner for so long, again, I did the same thing and was like, I want to live to see my son grow older. So what am I going to do? I'm going to lose the weight. So I lost the weight for him. I lost 105 pounds in 13 months. So I pretty much lost a whole person. However, I didn't change my mindset. So I continue to yo-yo over and over and over and over. I didn't change my mindset. Prior to going into that, I didn't change that mindset. I had all those negative beliefs, all those stories, all those habits carried in with me. Yeah, I lost a significant amount of weight, but I also didn't get rid of that mindset. I didn't change that mindset. I didn't, have the means or the knowledge or the know-how to do it the healthy way. So what happened was I went back to the same way of eating. This time, I would eat and eat and eat, and I would take laxatives, and I would eat and eat and eat and take laxatives. And I did things to my body nobody should ever do to themselves. I had no self-esteem. I had no self-love. I had no self-confidence. I based my worth on what other people thought of me. So if they treated me like garbage, I thought I was garbage. So at one point in my life, after I lost all that weight, about 5 years later, I literally hit rock bottom. I was addicted to diet pills. I was a heavy drinker. Like I said, I did things in my body nobody should ever do themselves. I based my worth on what other people thought of me. I was a people pleaser. I was a doormat. I was a caregiver. I didn't love myself. I didn't care about myself. Hit rock bottom. And whether you believe in God, higher source, higher power, I really believe that God was telling me that I needed to change and something had to give. I had to learn how to love myself. I had to learn how to take care of myself. I didn't know how to do these things. I had never learned these things growing up. I didn't. How am I supposed to do this? I had no direction in my life. I suffered from all these mindsets, all these, things telling me that I wasn't good enough and I wasn't special enough and I wasn't beautiful enough and I wasn't this and I wasn't that. And I always looked in magazines and looked in the, on the TV and I saw these people and I saw them looking like this and I look at myself and my body wasn't the way that these people bodies were. I didn't look this way, right away when we're kids, we're told, we're given these set of rules that we have to look a certain way and dress a certain way and act a certain way and be a certain way. And when we're not those ways, what do we try to do? We go through life trying to fix them, trying to change them to make everybody else happy around us, based on what society tells us, based on what everything around us, our parents, our families, our siblings, our school people we see on a regular basis, our teachers, everyone around us. We think that we need to look this certain way and dress a certain way and act a certain way. So we go through life trying to fix these things over and over and over and over. And then it creates more things and more things and more things. And it escalates bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we become adults where we are literally messed up in the heads. We are constantly comparing ourselves to other people. We're constantly thinking that we're not good enough. We're not special enough. Oh, I can't go out and write a book because there's so many better authors out there than I am. Or I can't be a speaker. I can't be on stage because that person is so much better than I am. We think that everybody else is so much better than they are around us. We think everybody else is better than us because we doubt our self-worth, our self-confidence, our self-esteem, our self-love. We have none of those. So I had to go out and find it. I had to go out and find who I was and find my authenticity and find me, that person that I put in a box, that person I put on the back burner such a long time ago. I had to find who that was. I had to find out who I was. And a little part of my story that I didn't share right away, but I also, was in the closet for being gay. And I was told that I couldn't be that way. And I was told that that way was evil or that was bad. And because I was raised in a very religious household, those things were bad. I was also intuitive. I had all these gifts. I just knew things. I just saw things. I felt things. I experienced things. And I couldn't explain them. And here I was told that they were bad and they were evil and I needed to shut them off. So I had all these things in my life that escalated, that I pushed down, that I hid so far away from myself, not being true to myself. And then really it hit rock bottom. Everything came tumbling down on me. I didn't want to, there were points in my life where I didn't want to live. I didn't want to be here. I didn't love what I saw. There were points in my life where I punched the mirror because I didn't like what I saw. I hated what I saw. I saw a distorted version of myself over and over and over and over again. So I went on this journey finding myself. I went out and I studied every self-help book and every guru and anybody out there I could get my hands on. And my life started changing. Things started happening. Things started shifting. And people were put in my life that supported me and loved me and cared about me. And then there were more things that I could share about myself and more things and more things and more things until it came out exploding off on everything. My true self, my true identity, my authenticity, everything I was. I learned how to do this all on my own, which is really hard because most people can't do it on their own, which is why I help people now doing what I do now. So in the beginning, when I asked you, could you stand in the mirror even naked and totally accept what you see? Like I said, most people cannot do that. I couldn't do that for the longest time. I could not look at myself in the mirror. And that moment that I finally was able to do that, and I saw my true self, I had to actually ask the person standing next to me, is that me? Is that really me? No, that can't be me. That's me. Wow, I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I'm sexy. I'm hot. Wow. This is what was reflecting back at me in the mirror, and all I saw prior to this was a distorted version. Wow. It was very eye-opening. So we are our hardest, as humans, we're our hardest on ourselves. We're so critical on ourselves. We sometimes are our worst enemies and our biggest critics. So I want to share another story with you. And this is a story very similar to mine. And this is one of my clients. And so before I get deeper into making the mirror your friend, I'd like to share with you this client story. And I had a client who was always, always, always hating herself. She'd always look in the mirror, she would say, I just don't like looking at myself in the mirror. And even harder for her was photos. So she hated looking herself in the mirror, and she hated looking herself in photos. She did not like her picture taken. And she'd always volunteer to be the person that would take the picture, or she'd be way, way in the back, and all you could see was her little face. So after a while, when I was coaching her, I gave her the exercises, a few that we're going to go over today, that I'm going to share with you today. She didn't like them, of course, and she still did them. To look at myself in the mirror naked, she said, it's disgusting, and I'm fat, and I'm ugly, and I'm miserable, and I don't want to do these. I don't like this. I told her to start small. Start tiny. Just look at yourself. Just look at your face first. Eventually started doing it. And then it came time for the pictures. And I remember her calling me up one day and saying, I don't know what you did, but I had my picture taken today and I loved it. I told her all that I gave her were tools, simple tools that help her facilitate them, help her work through all of those issues. It was all her. She did the work. She made the change. She changed her mindset about it. And still to this day, she sends me a caption with, look how beautiful I am. So what I want you guys all to do, and whoever's watching this video, is I want you to sit back. And I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And I want you to feel this deep compassion that you so easily feel for others. So easily have all this compassion for your partner, your spouse, or your kids, or anyone else around you that's in your space. Now I want you to feel the same compassion for you. Allow yourself this feeling of total acceptance and love. You cannot do wrong. You can't do anything wrong. You can only have an experience. Don't judge your experience. Just be compassionate with yourself. So you can rewind, fast forward through this over and over again. Write this down, and I'd love to hear what some of the emotions, some of the feelings that you're having. Write them down. What's coming up for you. Record them, write them down, and I'll give you an opportunity to get in contact with me later after this, where you can, get in contact with me and we can work on a deeper level of, finding that self-love and that self-compassion. So usually when people look in the mirror, they notice all sorts of imperfections. Part of self-love is really learning to accept your faults and your flaws, learning to accept the things that you don't like about yourself, learning to accept yourself as you are right now, rather than where you think you're supposed to be, rather than as you want yourself to be. So learning to accept yourself as you are right now, right in this space, rather than where you want yourself to be. Many times we have this ideal version of ourselves that we want to live up to, that we want to become. And seeing that we're not where we are, where we want to be, we get discouraged. We examine our flaws and our shortcomings and we torture ourselves with them. Or we ignore them entirely, pretending that there's not actually a problem and there's not a problem at all. And thus builds that habit of aversion. For others, the story can be much more complicated. It can even be when they have a tortured past, something in the past that's, lingering into their present. Traumatic experiences or pain they're still carrying around, not truly ready to let it go. In either sense, when we resist certain parts of our personality, our body, our past, these are all parts of ourselves that we reject. The parts that we don't accept because we don't like how we are currently. And then in doing so and continuing so, we're continuing to resist. When you judge yourself, you reject yourself. You give yourself that message that, I don't like you as you are, and I'll only like you if you change. So I'm going to repeat that last because I really want you to listen to that. When you judge yourself, you reject yourself. You give yourself that message that I don't like you as you are, and I will only like you if you change. This will always, always be a moving target that we can never live up to. Instead, we must love ourselves as we are in the current moment. So when was the last time you said, I love you to yourself? There's actually some very surprising benefits to this. If you want to increase your level of happiness, here's why you should start saying those 3 little words to yourself. You deserve it. You are a masterpiece. Not only are you great, you are great just the way you are. You are likely accomplished a lot in your life and you deserve love. So why not leave yourself an I love you note as a reminder? It will make your day much better. The kind of days where your friend cancels dinner, you didn't get the job, you didn't get the client, you can't find anything to wear. Those are the days where you need to hear I love you the most. The next time it seems like it's not going your way, try focusing on love instead, or concentrating on what has gone, or not concentrating on what has gone wrong. See if your day doesn't brighten just a little bit. Your existing relationships will become stronger. You'll develop new relationships. When you feel good about yourself, you're able to give more to others. You worry less about your own problems, and you can devote more time to your family and your friends. This in turn will strengthen actually your existing relationships. In addition, people will naturally be attracted to your selfishness. Selflessness, you exude. And they'll want to be around you more. You will actually see an increase in your confidence, your self-esteem. When successes are challenged, people can lose confidence. It's best to keep in mind that failure creates momentum for ambition. If you are having a not so good enough moment, soothe yourself by just saying, it's okay, I love you. It's the same thing you would say to your kids, your spouse, your partner, anybody else. So why is it so hard for you to say it to yourself? Why is it so hard for us to say it to ourselves? Your productivity will skyrocket. When you have love in your heart, you will get things done. You're more efficient at home. You're more efficient at work. Your chances of success will increase. You might even land a promotion, solve an issue, fix something that you've been meaning to fix. People will likely take notice. So go on, give yourself a try. It will help you truly be present. Forgive and forget. Another set of 3 words with a huge meaning. Negative thoughts keep people stuck in the past. When you rethink and relive uncomfortable situations, you are preventing yourself from moving on. You're telling yourself, I love you, redirects your attention to the present moment, to the here and the now. So, and it lets you focus on what's happening right in front of you. So forgive, forget, and then move on. You'll feel healthier. Physical health is so important. We truly, truly need to take care of our bodies, especially in this time of age, especially what's going on right now. You know, when our immune systems can be compromised, we really have to take care of ourselves. We need to eat right. We need to exercise. We need to drink lots of water. Also, incredibly important is our mental health. Mentally healthy people feel good about their choices and are proud of themselves, which in turn allows them to work on their physical health. Balance out your health by improving both your physical and your mental health. It will motivate you. Maybe you're having one of those moments where you're just very lethargic or you're tired and you're having trouble getting on with your day. Love can go a long way. Sometimes you just need that little extra push. So give it a whirl. It's worth it. You are worth it. You will make everyone else around you happy. Those who love you will be happy to know that you are treating yourself the way that they treat you. Not only that, but you will begin to appreciate your kindness and respect too. It will make you laugh. Everyone needs a laugh. And if not shouting, I love you to yourself doesn't make you laugh or giggle in any sort of way, or at least smile, try shouting it louder. Happiness, laughter is happiness. And after all, isn't that what we're all aiming for, is to be happy? So an exercise that you can do is repeating the I love you out loud to yourself in the mirror every morning. Watch how your pupils, your irises, are, and allow those feelings and those words to bring the flow over your body, even if it's negative. Really pay attention to your body. Like, where does it resonate in your body? Where is it sitting? Are you having emotions come up? Do you want to feel those emotions? Are you pushing those emotions down? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling angry? Observe those actions and responses with messages of love. Do different versions of yourself appear in the mirror? Are you smiling? Do you feel something that makes you drop your gaze and look away? Is there, part of you that doesn't want to accept the love? What is your body doing? Do any tears appear? Are you holding your breath? Are you breathing long and deep? How do you feel about purposely creating time to tell yourself that you are loved? You should acknowledge and address your true self with open arms and embrace all aspects that you see, the good, the bad, the ugly. It's all beautiful. It's all who you are. It's just you. When you really truly begin any true transformation, doing anything else is just going through the motions, and it's not going to benefit you at all. So be okay with imperfection. Nobody is perfect intellectually. We know that. But emotionally, we seem to feel bad when we don't reach this level of perfection. You aren't perfect, and you're never going to be, and that's okay. So I got another story for you. I kind of want to share with you another client story. I had a client that was so afraid of going gray. Yes, gray. She would dye her hair every time she saw one pop through. So you can imagine what it was doing to her scalp. She didn't care. She hated looking at herself in the mirror because all she saw was those little gray hairs popping up, popping up, popping up. So she started doing some of the techniques I gave her, and sure enough, she started accepting the fact that this was going to happen. She's going gray. Gray hairs would appear more and more and more. This was also around the time when it started kind of being cool to have gray hair. Now she embraces her hair and she loves what she sees in the mirror. And now she sees only beauty. She swears that she actually started the trend that became popular because of her. Who knows, maybe. I have no idea. So, if any of this that I said today has been helpful for you, I'd love to invite you to take it even further with a free private session with me. On our call, we will identify what stories are stuck in your head that keeps you in this yo-yoing mode, keeps you this emotional eating, that keeps you in this round and round and round of lack of self-worth, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-esteem. We'll create the vision of what your new life is going to look like when you get to that point, and we'll chart the roadmap to get there. So to schedule that session, go to talkwithliza.com. You can also reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, if you have any questions. So I really encourage you, if anything that I've said today has hit you in a certain way, if you've experienced some of the same things that I've shared with you today on my story, I really encourage you to reach out, because I can help you. I can help you get through those struggles and those pitfalls and those stumbles, because I've been there. I've done that. And I'm going to leave you with just a little nugget, another little nugget. So the words that we say to ourselves every day on a daily basis go in here. In our conscious mind, whatever we say in here believes it to be true every single time. So if you've gone over and over and over in your life saying that you're fat, ugly, fat, stupid, and disgusting over and over and over again, what happens is your subconscious believes it to be true every time. So you go out, you're wearing this outfit, and somebody pays you a compliment, or your spouse or your partner or your kid or somebody pays you a compliment. What's going to happen with that compliment is your subconscious is going to remind you, no. Remember, we can't accept that compliment because you told us we're ugly, fat, stupid, and disgusting our whole lives. So we can't believe that. So what's going to happen is you're going to reject that compliment. And you're going to say, no, oh, this dress, oh, it's faded. It's too small. I don't know why I wore it. I just don't like it. I feel really uncomfortable. It's so faded. We lock up because we don't know how to accept that compliment, because our brain, we've been telling ourselves this over and over and over again, that we're ugly, fat, stupid, and disgusting. So be very mindful of the words that you say to yourself. Be very mindful of anything exterior or interior how you're talking about yourself, how you're talking to yourself, how you're talking with yourself. Because every single thing that we say in here believes it to be true. So if you could turn it around somehow and say, I am beautiful, I am amazing, I am brilliant, over and over and over again, you can start on the path of loving yourself again and rewiring your brain from your subconscious, telling you all those negative things about yourself you've been telling yourself your entire life. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to seeing you again.